Hello all and welcome. So I'm Mayank Agarwal and today in this video we are going to see that how can we create a free tier account on a Google Cloud platform. Now GCP is getting used a lot in the industry today and an exposure to the same will be a lot helpful. Along with that, the services which are being provided by GCP, they can be used for varied applications, starting from your, let's say, just making a server to something in big data engineering. Like they have many things like Dataproc and Databricks. And now Vertex AI, which is an awesome solution for making your AI applications. So now let's get started. And I will be covering each thing step by step on what all you need and will be like making it for an account where I have never used the same so that it will be exactly equal to what all challenges or screen you will see. Okay. So this is the Google Cloud website, the homepage. As you can see, cloud.google.com. The new way to cloud starts here. And of course, it has many things. What you have to do is you have to do get started for free here. So click this particular thing. And to go to this particular website, what you can do, Cloud Google. And this is the first website in your Google search, right? And this account on which I'm making it, I have never used Google Cloud Services here before. So it's a totally normal account, nothing related to any company or let's say any Google One account or anything. I will be using a live credit card and will be telling you that what are the best practices or which card majorly you should be having so that you don't face such issues, right? So let us now click this get started for free. This is the button which you have to click, everyone. This one, get started for free. So let me click this. And it's just saying console.cloud Google. It has taken up my email ID, right? It is able to see that, okay, Mayank Agarwal email ID. Select the country again as India. Now, few things to note here. Let me just show you that one by one, which are again very important. So, see, the very first thing is that $300 in free credit, right? So you will be given these many credits, which are a lot. So even if you are planning to enter or study about in any field, like let's say if you are making some AI applications or let's say some big data engineering projects, this are more than enough, provided you follow the steps. Like you will be closing down all the services when you don't need them. All these things will be a lot. Now, the very best important thing is no automatic charges. You only start paying if you decide to activate fully pay as you go account or choose to prepay. So this is again something which I will show you. You don't have to activate this and you can be assured that you will not be having any charges deducted automatically so that you can be very much sure that creating this account will not take away all your bank balance. So great everyone. Now let us move forward. Agree and continue. Okay, so it is just moving forward. So let us create a payments profile. Okay, so it is asking for an, we have to choose individual here, not an organization, right? So I'm making it as a part of an individual learner. Then Mayank Agarwal. Address, we can let's say enter anything, or maybe let me enter Bangalore here. This thing is optional, so that should be fine. Now city is also Bangalore. Pin code I can let's say enter this one. State is Karnataka. And yeah, I think this should be good. So now we are able to see Reserve Bank of India requires that card support automatic payment according to RBI regulations. Okay, so this is one thing which we have to make sure. Again, as we saw in the last, and as we are able to see here as well, no charges will be automatic. Just that it should be, this feature should be there in card because Google believe that you will be making a free account first, and then as you learn, you will be moving on to the prepay charges where they will be deducted based on what all you are using. Okay. So then let's add a payment method here. Add credit card or debit card. As you can see, pay by UPI QR code and pay with net banking. Okay. So let's say here I'm just selecting this pay by UPI QR code and I'm doing start free. Okay. If this doesn't work, then I will go to your this thing. To normally we will go back into our credit card. The good thing is that even I am seeing that UPI can be used. So let us go back and let me scan it. Okay. And I will suggest one more thing. Please make sure that you have some other dummy account, let's say some account which is not your primary one, which has less money through which you can use this. So now that I have scanned it, okay. So it is asking for an automatic payment request up to 15,000, right? It is asking for maximum mandate, but as we are able to see, As we know, it should not be the case. So let me just enter it and let us move forward. So it is saying that automatic payment has been basically activated. Let me just see if and it will refresh successfully created. And of course, it has debited rupees 2 as well. Okay. So I will just write it down what all things it has done. Okay. So pay attention, everyone. Google Cloud Platform. Google Cloud Platform account creation. We have went to this cloud.google.com. Now in the billing setup, credit card is preferred. Though I have just shown you the easiest way. We have used a UPI here. Okay. In my UPI, it has deducted 2 rupees, which I know will be refunded, right? In a similar way, you can use a credit card as well. Just make sure the credit card is either Visa or Mastercard, and it should have the feature of automatic payment, which we have seen. Again, no payment will be there, right? It will still take that mandate that it can deduct up to 15,000. Now, next is international transaction should be enabled. So if you are using a credit card, please make sure that this international transaction is enabled. Again, just you can have the limit there as well. Like for example, I have a credit card where the limit is your this thing just up to I think 2000 or something. A 300 credits are provided for 90 days. A hold amount of 1 to 50 might be charged for verification. So in my case, it has just deducted 2 rupees and I have my account with me, right? So let us now move forward, everyone, and let us see that. So what best describes you? It's let's say I'm just choosing startup. Okay, maybe we can close it. I think it should be fine. Yeah. Okay, all good. See, 0 out of 255, 25662 credits. Okay, so I think this is just USD. Yeah, around the same thing. You see this activate full account. This is again something which we don't have to do, right? So I'm majorly making this video for Indian folks. For people who are outside, of course, you can use credit card, but I think UPI is something which all of us have. And you have just seen that how easily I have just done the same thing where I have just made a normal UPI transaction. The mandate I'm going to delete now. The 15,000 mandate that should be fine. We can delete it, and it has just deducted 2 rupees from my account. Nothing major, and that too will be overall refunded. So don't click this. Don't click this. Right? Don't have to do this. You will see one thing here as well. Again, very important. You won't be auto charged once your trial ends. However, your resources are marked for deletion and may be lost immediately. Activate your full account anytime during your trial to avoid losing your resources. After activating your full account, you will pay for what you use. Okay. So again, that's the thing which I'm showing you multiple times. You can set up this budget alerts or anything, but I hope I have answered the biggest question which students have doubt that will I be charged? Well, no, you will not be charged. That is why I'm reading this multiple times. Now you have this credits. This will be expiring on April 4, 2025. Okay. And yeah, I think now we are good to even create a virtual machine, train and host ML models on Vertex AI as I was showing you. So for our use case, let us actually go to Dataproc API, okay, and enable that. So I think this one is the one, Cloud Dataproc API, and we can enable this. Okay, so why am I enabling this? Because I will be making a Hadoop cluster to show you that everything is working fine, right? So let it get enabled. And as you can see, I have not used anything like just in a similar way we have done this. Pretty easy steps, nothing major. Okay, just one thing more I would like to show you. Just let me open a new window. So if we go here and if I just go again on cloud.google and let's say get started for free. Okay, it will be asking for a review. Okay, so if I remember right, the three ways you can pay were credit card, then there was your UPI, and last I think was your debit card if I'm not wrong. So you can just check that, but I think the first two will be the one which majority will be using, right? So now let it just enable it quickly. So now it is showing me that it has been enabled, right? There again, free trial status, this much accounts and everything it is showing. Now what I can do is data proc. Okay. So data proc manage Hadoop cluster. This is what you have to start. I will show you again. Pay attention. Data proc manage Apache Hadoop, right? One thing more. So again, I will be covering this in future videos, but we make projects in our big data, sorry, in our Google Cloud platform. And inside that projects, basically our resources and everything will be. So a first project by default is created. This is the ID, which we might also be using. We can create a new project by going here. Okay, so the overall hierarchy goes something like this. We will configure our first project that is already there, enable our Dataproc API and start a Hadoop cluster. Okay, and as a bonus, we will also check out Vertex AI. So these are the things which we will be doing, everyone. Up till now, what all we have done. So we have created GCP account, right? Paid rupees 2 via UPI and a 15K mandate. Again, I'm making sure that everything is a lot transparent, which will be cancelled. So this mandate is just created. It is not that it is getting that money out of your account. And honestly, the account which I have selected, that doesn't have 15,000 as well, right? So I'm taking all the measures and will suggest you to do the same. But I have shown you again that it will not be charging you automatically. Now I have enabled Dataproc API. Now the reason is that in Google Cloud Platform, you have to enable these API which you want to use. Okay. So I have enabled these APIs so that I can now create a Hadoop cluster on cloud, which I can further use. Okay. So if I go back here, everyone now, you will see that if I cancel this, I can create a new cluster. So you can see cluster on compute engine, create a cluster on Google Kubernetes engine. I want to create one on compute engine. So let us create it. A minute. Okay. Create cluster. Let me refresh it. Not sure what is the issue. So let us create this cluster and create. So just have to close the right side. Okay, so let us create it. One thing more, don't activate it. Okay, you can just dismiss it. Anywhere it will be poking you a lot to activate your account, you can just dismiss it. Now you can see the cluster name. So let's say test Hadoop cluster. Then region we can select somewhere in India if anything is available. So US or let's say South East. No worries. Let us select US Central only. Okay, no worries or no problem to select a zone. Let's take a sync standard, one master and n worker. Okay. Then image type and everything works. We can just see that quickly. Here we have the Debian 12, Hadoop 3.3 and Spark 3.5. Everything seems fine here. Okay. Then advanced optimization again not required. Advanced execution layer should be fine. We don't know want any of these things. No auto scaling policy. I think it is not available even when we are on the free tier. So all these things are fine. Okay, we don't have to do anything here. This is very important. Enable component gateway. What this does is provide you all the web interfaces. And along with this, I will be just clicking on the Jupyter notebook and just this Hive webcat as well. Okay. So we need these two properties as well. These two, sorry, component as well. And I will show you that why we are doing that. Now we can go on our configure nodes. So let us go to configure nodes. Here we are just selecting N2. Okay. Or we can select even the most basics one. N2 should be fine. We don't need so much of a primary disk space. Let us do that 32 GB. So I want maybe a 32 GB space in my cluster. That should be fine. This is all about your master node. Okay, so you can see manager node. Here is the case. And for your worker node, right? For your worker node, we want two worker nodes. Again, just 32 GB size. Memory is 3.75 GB, 4 CPU cores. Just a basic machine we want so that we can get the taste of your distributed computing. Secondary worker nodes and everything, all should be fine. No secure boot, nothing. And yarn core is 8 here, should be fine. And we can just remove this tick here as well so that it should be easily accessible. And let us now do create. And now you will see it has starting creating our cluster Hadoop. So just we will wait for this, right? Let me now quickly come back once this is created. It will take around 5-7 minutes, I think. So what will be happening in the backend is that we will be having some machine provision. Okay, so some machines will be taken with the given configuration which we have asked for. In those machines, now they will be connected. all of these things, like the connection to make sure that okay, this machine is the master, the other two are worker, they all will be done. Then the OS which we have selected, that will be installed. Along with that, the component which we asked for, that will basically be also installed. And we will be having a cluster with us which we can directly use. Now, one thing to note here, majorly in today's world, you will not be doing any of this thing yourself. Like this is how you will be asking for your resources. It will not be the case that you manually will be changing any property, right? So this is a very good way. Like if you are aware of this thing, that is also a very good way in which you can have your data engineering or start your data engineering journey, right? As a bonus, meanwhile this happens, let us do one more thing. Let us go to Google and let us do Vertex AI. Okay. So Vertex AI again is a very good platform. So I gave a talk in Google Mumbai office in which I used Vertex AI to make to do one of the project. Okay, so it was a generative AI project where we were in a way creating a vector DB of images and then making sure that using that we can basically answer the question in a better way. So somewhere I will of course share that as well in the channel. So now you will see Vertex AI Studio, Model Garden, Collab Enterprise, prepare data model deployment. Again, just this is as a bonus, we can just go on this Vertex AI Studio. So again, see, it is asking us that hey, you are using Vertex AI Studio. Should this API is not enabled? Okay, cloud storage is enabled, that is fine, but Vertex AI API is not enabled. So it is asking you to enable that. Just like we didn't have the Dataproc API enabled, right? So I can just agree and continue. And I just want to show you the UI majorly. Okay, so you will see that freeform is there where you can chat easily. Okay, it is I think opening your that thing, the overall API as well. Now you can see prompt management tuning. Here you will see if I go on, let's say the dashboard. Okay, so I just want to show you where all these this thing is, the models. So here you can actually answer your everything. You can select the models here. So Gemini 2.0, you will see many models, right? Third party, Anthropic, Claude, Llama. Okay, so all these are also available. Just want to show you that how Google overall is, and I think for AI also many people will be using that. So you can just have this temperature, output token limit, format, all these things we can basically have selected. You can of course, if you want to use the code, you can configure all this via SDK and the code. Should be fine if you don't aware of this. We can just use that. All this evaluate and everything is there. We can go to Collab Enterprise and create our notebook as well. Okay, so this is a very awesome thing. We can create our new notebook and code everything there. And yeah, I think this is more than enough. If you go on Vision, you will see that okay, submit a text prompt to generate an image. Then we can go to translation. Okay, so just enter a thing and it will translate. So see, model, all these things are again provided to you. So the best part, all the models, everything are there, which you can directly test out here. The open source models like Llama and Claude as well. Okay, if I go to Workbench, so though it is not, so this video I'm making more from the mindset of that, right? From the mindset of using it for big data. But as I'm showing you for Vertex AI, for AI as well, you can very nicely use this thing, right? So all the API list and everything is there. We can train your model. So yeah, anyone who want to use that, Google Vertex AI is also a very good platform. Okay. So yeah, I think this is majorly what I want to show you. Now we can go back and see if our that is ready. Where was it? Yeah. Okay. So see, this is running. It went pretty quickly. Let me refresh it. And now I can go inside my this server. So here I have three machines which are provisioned to me. Okay, one master and two worker nodes. If I go inside this, it's inside my first project. Right now you will not see anything. Like it must have just the capacity and everything is there for HDFS. I think we selected 32 GB. Some 2 GB will be used for the OS and stuff, right? Test space is available to us. The thing is that we can see VM instances here, if you will see. Okay, and see, this is the master node where I can now SSH, right? I can now SSH in this. So let me just do this open browser window. And this is me inside this particular virtual machine, right? So some virtual machine Google have provisioned to me, but now I am getting inside this machine. Along with that, if you remember, we had this web interfaces and everything, right? So see, if I select Jupyter Lab, let it open. Meanwhile, let's see. Okay, authorize. So everything is getting authorized here. It is establishing a connection. And this Jupyter lab is also getting loaded. Yeah, see. So it is giving that, okay, you are Mayank 953. I am inside this particular cluster. This is my ID, right? It is getting copied. I can just zoom in as well. Okay. Here also, if I do ls, okay, pwd first, I can just go back and you can see each and everything. See, Hadoop is there. Okay. All these things, everything is there. So don't want to make it a lot complex, but I hope you get the idea that how can you create your cluster, and just a very quick guide to getting started on creating your account. And see, the best part, you have this Jupyter notebook, Jupyter lab, which is all on the cloud, where you have the PySpark as well. You can run your Python code. You have the terminal. So all this again will be connected to your Hadoop cluster, where you can practice anything you want now. And all this is in your free trial. I have not basically authorized my Google to take full advantage or anything. Like, it is still in the trial mode, right? So it is not where I have activated my account. And yes, you can feel free to now practice directly on the cloud and not scratch your head on working out anything on your local PC, right? And this hopefully will work on even a minimum system, minimum configured system, right? So if you have a 4 GB system, which maybe let's say a little old, 4 or 5 years, just go here and it will just be requiring you to start and SSH into this particular thing. You can upload files, download file. You can even connect to this via your terminal. Again, topic for another day. But I hope you get the basic idea that this is what, or this is how you can create a Google account, which you can use now to do anything which you want. And there are many services, right? So again, my major aim was with respect to the data engineering and AI part, but you can use any service you want, okay, which are present. So for that, what you can do again is, if we go on free trial and free tier, you will see that what all are actually provided here. So free tier products, there will of course be some limits, right? So it is not that it is totally activated one, but for a student, for your practicing and learning part, believe me, this is more than enough, right? I have actually learned a lot just by the free trials, and you will not be paying anything, and you can have a full industry level of exposure to AI, or let's say data engineering, with not even spending, or maybe just spending 2 rupees, and hopefully that will also be refunded. Okay, so cool everyone, I hope this was helpful. Just one thing before we go, I would expect that all of us are doing, that is, I will go back to my Dataproc. Okay, so let me just go to here and then Dataproc. Okay, manage Apache Hadoop. And here I will try that I can stop this particular cluster. Okay, so why I'm showing you this in the end? Because I started the service. The time it is started, it is going to charge me, right? And my credits are going to get used. So if you want to make sure that you don't want to pay and still take the best benefit, please try to conserve your credits as well. And I can stop this now. Okay, so it will stop and all these things. You will not pay for these VMs while the cluster is stopped, but you will continue to pay for other resources associated with the cluster. So again, it will just have some less charge, and if not required, I can delete this as well. Okay, so that's the whole idea, everyone. Now, these are the best practices, and pretty sure that they are helpful. So yeah, that was all. If anyone has any doubt, ask the same in Q&A or in the comments, and I will be more than happy to clear that.